The Gangster Planet Natural Selection audiobook. Part 1. For all the ones that stuck with me this far, I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have designed and created the Echinomoninidae with the express intention of their feeding within the living bodies of caterpillars. Charles Darwin. Our God is a loving God, yes. He is a merciful God, yes. But He is even more so a God of disciple, obedience, a jealous God, and for every conscious choice of sin will be corrected through His discipline. Whether physical or mental, it will be corrected. Kendrick Lamar. Live a good life. If there are gods and they are just, then they will not care how devout you have been, but will welcome you based on the virtues you have lived by. If there are gods but unjust, you should not want to worship them. Marcus Aurelius. Gangster Planet Natural Selection. Table of Contents. Serrated Lives. Chapter 1, As Above. Chapter 2, So Below. Chapter 3, Do As Thou Wilt. Chapter 4, As Below. Chapter 5, So Above. Epilogue. About the author. End transmission. As Above. My name is Glass, and I was 7 years old when my brothers abducted me. For the last 17 years, I have been educated, trained to be the perfect man. Spiritually, mentally, and physically, I was molded to be the very best. I was the ultimate unethical experiment raised by a cult entirely dedicated to complete perfection. I have long forgotten whatever name my birth family bestowed upon me. As the most ancient of orders, the Storm Crows saw to it I chose a new name. In the pits of the Agogi, I was known for covering my hands in glass shards while boxing. My weapon of choice describes me best. I live in a fragile existence of untested possibilities as the outside world disintegrates and degenerates. I am stowed away to be used by the highest bidder only after the ashes and acrid smoke violates and ventilates the earth. Doomed to survive the atomic hellfire but never change or avenge it. So I train. Why? To live up to the notion greatness can be earned rather than born into? Once the bombs fall, the new owners of this world will deploy 5 other experiments with similar training to my own and the singular purpose to kill me. The lone survivor will be used as a genetic template for the next planet colonization project. This has been my fate since I was 7 years old, and tonight the bombs have dropped. I am safe. Inside a bunker deep below the earth, underneath the soil of Virginia, I hear chaos and panic from the radio. I hear final prayers and suicide pacts. Anarchy and pain rupture as a new world is born out of the carcass of the old. Memories of the world before do not take up much residence in my mind besides vague, unending streams of black-hearted, empty-souled nonsense. I weep for the mountains of bodies, but not for the inevitability, greed, and culture that would guarantee that said mountain is there. My senior crow, most trusted advisor, travels to my chambers, lantern in hand. Brother Glass, today is the day of reckoning. Have you made peace with your coming trials? He said. I am humbled, Brother Lupa. Many boys dream of one day being the strongest man in the world, to perhaps become a scholar or dream of athleticism. Having the choice taken from me so young, with strength being my only option for so long, I can only see Fortuna favoring me. Maester Lupa smiles after I said this, pushing his wrinkles to the very corners of his mouth before setting the lantern right next to my bed. He sat right next to me. I believe in you. More than any other experiment, you've shown to be a natural success. Excessive talent in all ranges of brilliance and physical aptitude. I must say it was an honor in helping to create you. He said this. And then I said, Lupa, as the forerunner to my creation, I've known the entire time you were the first experiment I would face. The crow's smile evaporated into an empty grimace. Is this how you favor to die? Without fight? Without pleading, just acceptance? Just as peacefully when you took me from my mother in the night when I was sleeping in my bed? Is that what you wish, Brother Lupa? To go to sleep in my bed? Within seconds after I spoke, I latched my arms around Lupa's neck and squeezed with all my might. Lupa kicks and screams, but is muffled by the choke restricting of precious air and blood. Eventually, Lupa's body stiffens with a frozen stillness. Light flickers as movement flutters to a halt in front of the lamp. I leave the bunker after 48 hours. There are 4 more experiments that must die at my hand, none of which will set my fate as lightly as Brother Lupa. I remember in my studies I came upon the story of a man that dreamed he was a butterfly, and when he awoke he pondered if this reality he awoke from was truly his own. I close my eyes now and see a deep, profound blackness. Deep in that blackness there is a beast that stares back at me. When my eyes open, I am left wondering, just like that man, am I the one who wakes to find he dreamed of a beast? Perhaps I am the dream that the beast uses to escape the night. Topside what I expected and more. Miles upon miles of unnatural tundra and radiated destroyed trees smashed together with debris. My brothers have gave me a ration pack, a flashlight, and a heavily filtered gas mask that I use extensively for the surrounding fallout and ash. Throughout the fog, ashes, and dust, I see a single light penetrate the darkness. Like thunder, the light penetrates with the mighty roar of a 16-wheeler horn. Counting my luck, I made my presence known to the truck driver, jumping onto the driver's side and knocking on the window until the driver stopped. Slowly, the driver rolled down the window, leaving me face to face with a bearded, heavy man with aviators and a red bandana wrapped around his face. "Do you have any food, stranger?" he asked. My pack contained enough rations to trade and eat for the next week. The coordinates for my bunker are ingrained into my mind for resupply. "I have some food I can share," I replied. "Where are you headed?" I asked. "I was trucking when the bombs fell. I'm headed back home to Tennessee," he said. I shook my head. "In need of some company?" I asked. "Honestly, you're the first soul I've seen since the building started collapsing and the sun disappeared." The man sticks his hand out the window. "The name is Gus, and as long as you got respect, we should be fine." I shake Gus's hand before entering on the passenger side. We are silent most of the ride. Gus flips his lights on and off, desperately searching for other survivors. We find none. It is after the 3rd hour of trucking through the devastation that Gus opens his mouth again. "You know, most other truckers I know are supposedly headed to Utah for some kind of resource pool. Since the companies paying us are all gone." Gus's eyes remain locked on the road as he speaks. "Seems lucky for me I had to be transporting boxes of frozen food when I heard Bloody Mary retaliated against the Chinese." Gus coughed twice into his hand before steadying the wheel. I stared through the windshield with a glass mask still affixed to my head, and in the illuminated distance I spotted a white man-shaped figure in the fetal position on the road. "The hell is that?" I asked. "That's a problem." In an instant, Gus shuts the lights off the truck and allows the vehicle to go from a slow pace to a crawl. "No, I'm no religious man nor bigot, but those disturbing pus-covered bastards are all over ground zeros and spreading." Gus reaches under his steering wheel to grab a sawed-off shotgun. "In these crazy-ass times without the sun fucking shining, I think it is my best efforts to consider these abominations against God a bad omen." "Fair enough," I replied. Gus stops the 16-wheeler and grabs a flashlight and keys before going outside the truck. I then overhear what can only be accurately described as a banshee shriek and the loud pow of a shotgun, emptying both barrels on target. Within minutes, Gus steps back into the driver's seat and starts driving away. Time passed, yet we did not speak. The silence gives way for opportunity for meditation on my circumstances. The logistics of running and rebuilding a community did not escape my mind during training. In fact, it was one of the key subjects I excelled in. Creating a living space among the now disenfranchised legion of truckers across the country would require looking at resources on an imperial scale. I also take the time to examine my companion. Gus is a strong-bodied, fat, well-meaning, and well-armed, simple man. I believe that by using his visage as a figurehead, I'll be able to sow goodwill between those lifelong truckers and my powerlifting hippie Christ first glance appearance. Eventually, the hours pass. More. And Gus and I see bright football lights in the distance. The first signs of life in the last 500 miles. We pull in closer and closer until we come upon a wall of truck lights and impromptu drive-in theater. Someone has connected their laptop into a projector and the sound system just loud enough to overpower the odd 70 or so trucks. The projector simply said to register your truck with the collective and to mention what cargo the trucker was carrying at the time. Once amongst the truck folk proper, Gus makes it his prerogative to have his way, shotgun in hand to the makeshift projector. Following the laptop cords, Gus ignored the other open trucks, some of which were filled with families, others makeshift families of greasy trucker and all the lot lizards he can afford to fit inside. I stayed close behind, my cleverly concealed Glock 18 hidden under my heavy coat jacket. Gus finally finds the source of the laptop cords, the generator next to a tractor trailer just outside the projector. Gus knocks on the side of the trailer 5 times until a fat, red-bearded man with sunglasses and a similar red bandana comes waddling outside to greet the two of us. "Son of a bitch," Gus yelled excitedly. The fat Redbeard takes off his glasses and moves in to hug Gus. Gus reciprocates for what feels like 5 minutes. I counted. "Otto, how the fuck did you make it back home?" he said. "When I heard there had been bears abandoning their caves, I knew shit was going sideways fast. I sent out a message to anyone that could be listened to the blast bombs and that never reached home. Wherever the hell chemical agents and nukes that went off barely touched here for some reason. God damn it, I knew it. I knew it. If we could rebuild, given the chance, I had no idea it would be with my own blood cousin." Otto's eyes well up as he recounts the devastation he saw traveling the now ruined hellscape that was America. According to Otto, everything but his CB radio had been silent for the last day and a half, but the trucks were constantly coming in, seeming to all follow his distress call. Otto stops talking for a moment and looks at me. "I don't think we have been properly introduced. I'm Otto, and you are?" And both Gus and Otto's eyes pierced through me. I had become the other. A mystery to be solved, not unlike the projector once was. "My name is Glass." I removed my gas mask, unveiling my long dark hair that is cut on the sides, as to not resemble white Jesus too strongly. I was a survivalist and scholar of sorts before the bombs fell. I think I could be an incredible asset to the rebuilding of this country. Except for this time, I placed my hands on both Gus and Isle's shoulders as I spoke. "The ones who sweat for this country will be at the top," I said with some eerie confidence. "Well, Gus, you rode with the kid. Is he worth his salt?" I will ask and assure the validity of his words. Gus simply shakes his head. "This is the most I've heard him speak since we met. Something about him, though." Gus strokes his beard. "He sits right with me." Otto shrugs. "If you're alright with my flesh and blood, you alright with me, despite whatever odd name your folks salad you with." I paid a complimentary laugh at the social jab at my name. The storm crows warned me the others would find it odd. Yet the pride in my name I have outweighs any potential shame or social awkwardness another might feel. "That reminds me. Come take a look at my haul and tell me what you think." Otto opened his trailer and unveiled a cache of various high-quality arms and military-grade equipment. I suspect we have like 47 hauls just like this meant to covertly supply the Homeland Treason Committee members in their private first citizen bunkers. A smile powered through my stoic visage. "I know what we can do." Loud sirens belt out harsh noises, confuse and rouse up the crowd. I climbed into the back of the trailer and am smitten by a particular MP5K. I pick up and load the submachine gun with a single extended magazine before exiting the truck. The masses of truckers look angry, and the family of truckers look upset by the presence of lawmen. I see 3 squad cars with a total of 10 officers in between them. I squeeze the trigger as I aim meticulously at every officer still in their car. Later, I'll justify my actions by saying these enforcers of old world law have no business here trying to take what we're only now building. Doesn't matter, at least I know my submachine gun works.